Level 1. The candidate. You go to a very special school. You have to carry a giant, heavy bag. It is so hot and sticky that it feels like you are breathing through a wet cloth. The teachers watch everything you do. They put people into secret groups in their heads. They have a group for the good kids and a group for the bad kids. But they never tell you which group you are in. They only tell you when to move and where to go. Most kids will not finish. Out of 10 kids, 7 will go home early. The teachers tell you this on day 1. They say it like they are talking about the rain. It is just a fact. Some kids quit because it is too hard. Some are told to leave. Some kids get a boo-boo in their hearts that you cannot see, but it shows up later when they are sad or tired. In the first week, you do not use a gun. You just learn how to hide. You crawl on your belly in the tall grass. The teachers use special glasses to try and find you. If they see you wiggle, you have to go back and start again. You make a funny suit out of old rags and leaves. You look like a bush or a pile of dirt, not a person. You learn to move slower than a snail. You learn that being very patient is the best thing. The most important part is being totally invisible. The other kid starts to go home. One friend quits because he got too cold and felt very sad. 2 are sent away because they were not careful. One boy just leaves in the middle of the night. His bed is empty in the morning. You stay. You are not the strongest, but you just refuse to give up. You crawl through icky mud. You stay still even when bugs crawl on your nose. When you mess up, you just try again and keep your sad feelings hidden. You really want to be here. The shooting comes later. It is much harder than you think. You might know how to shoot a little bit already, but shooting something very far away is a big challenge. The wind pushes the ball in the air. It moves in wiggly lines that change every second. The earth pulls the ball down, too. You have to do very hard math to hit the target. The easy stuff you knew before is not enough here. You have to learn it all over again. The last test is the hardest. You stay outside for 4 days with almost no food. You have to hide and take tests without any sleep. You only get to close your eyes for a tiny minute. Your body feels like it is made of heavy mud. Your brain only thinks about the very next thing you have to do. The teachers watch to see if you get too upset. Some kids do great until their brains just get too tired and snap. They go home. It is okay. They just aren't the right fit. You have to be born with a special brain for this. You finish because you learn a secret. When things get loud and scary, your brain gets very quiet. Everything feels simple to you. When the game gets harder, you actually think better. It is not just about being brave. It is just how you are made. You finish at the bottom of the class, but that is okay. You aren't the best, but you are good. You get your special badge and go help a team that really needs a friend like you. Level 2. The spotter. Your boss is a man named Bress. He has been to faraway fights 4 times. His eyes always look a little bit sleepy or far away, like he is thinking of another place. He has had to stop many bad people. This makes him carry a heavy sadness that you only see after you are friends for a long time. He stops and looks before walking into a room. At dinner, he sits where he can see the door. He has scary dreams at night, and you can hear him through the walls. You are the new kid, so your job is to be the helper. The other man pulls the trigger, but you do all the other work. You guess how far away things are. You feel which way the wind blows. You find the bad guys and write it all down. You are like his extra brain. You do the hard thinking so he can just stay calm and be very still when it is time. Your first big trip is to a secret land to do secret work. The rules change all the time. The bad guys don't wear special clothes. They look like everyone else until they do something mean. You learn to spot a bad guy by how he walks or how he holds his hands. You look for tiny things that look wrong right before something scary happens. The first time you help stop a bad person, he has a big scary rocket. Your friend Reyes shoots from very far away. You check the wind. You look through your telescope and see the shot hit before you even hear the pop. 1 second the man is trying to hurt people, and the next second he just falls down. His body stops moving, and the rocket falls quietly on the roof. You thought you would feel very scared or very happy, but you just feel like you finished a hard chore. It was a good job, It was the right bad guy. You kept your friends safe. You put that man's face in a tiny box in your mind so it won't bother you later. Then, you just go back to work. Reyes watches you to see if you are okay. He has seen new helpers get very sad when the pretend school turns into real life. But you don't cry or get scared. He isn't sure if that is a good thing or a spooky thing, and you don't ask him. After many months, you learn things that weren't in your books. You learn that the morning wind moves differently than the afternoon wind. You learn how to hide even when there is no grass. You learn that it is okay to walk away if the shot isn't perfect. Being patient is much more important than being fast. You learn that war is sometimes very fast and scary, and sometimes very slow and boring. You make best friends because you share secrets that people at home wouldn't understand. You get letters from home, but they feel like they are from a different planet. That world keeps moving, but you are not there. You learn everything about Reyes. You know when he wants to talk and when he needs it to be quiet. You hear him take a fast breath before he shoots, or a long breath when he decides to wait. You aren't just yourself anymore. You are part of him and part of the team. Level 3. The Shooter. Reyes goes back home. He gets a job teaching others. Everyone knows it is really because he drinks too much to hide his sadness, and his home life is broken now. You say goodbye to him. It feels very confusing. You say thank you, but you also feel sad. You wonder who he would be if he did not have to see so many scary things in his life. The new guy who takes his place is younger than you. He has a fancy badge, but he really needs your help because you know how things really work. So, you become the main shooter. That is what your small team needs right now. Far away from home. Being good at your job matters way more than who the big boss is. Your first shot as the main guy is actually super easy. A bad guy is not too far away. The wind is quiet. Everything is perfect. You just breathe, stop, and squeeze. You see the shot hit, and you move away. But the easy days do not teach you who you are. The really hard days do. There is a big house hidden in a deep valley. Very mean bad guys are holding 3 good helpers trapped inside. We know time is running out. You set up your spot super far away. Farther than you have ever tried before in real life. The wind is acting crazy, blowing this way and that way. Your new helper tries to guess the wind numbers, but nature is not playing nice. You wait for hours and hours. You watch through your special glass. The faraway house looks very close. You learn exactly where the guards walk. You see the trapped people in the window for just a little bit. You know they will not be safe for very long. When the sun starts to go down, the bad guy you need to stop stands still for just a tiny second. You change your aim. You use the hard math you learned, but you also use a special feeling deep inside your heart. You cannot even explain how you know it is exactly right. You pull the little trigger very smoothly. The shot flies perfectly. The guard falls down, and your friends rush in to help. 20 minutes later, the good people are safe on a loud helicopter. You pack up your things in the total dark. You saved 3 lives. 3 people get to keep living and go home because of the really hard thing you did. This feels different than the other times. Not happier or sadder, just totally different. The big, heavy, invisible backpack you carry feels like it sits a little differently on your shoulders today. Level 4. The Instructor. You go back to the special school, but now you are the teacher standing in the front. You watch new guys who look exactly like you did 8 years ago. The big school just keeps going. Teaching shows you what you still need to learn. You thought you knew everything, but having to explain it makes you think way harder. You have to figure out the deep reasons why the rules work. You get to be a much better shooter just by making new shooters. The new guys have a hard time with the exact same things you did. Squeezing the trigger gently, breathing slowly, and having a strong brain to wait for hours just to do one fast thing perfectly. You watch them get so tired they almost break. You learn how to guess who will stay. It is not the biggest, strongest guys. It is not the guys who are naturally super good at it. It is the guys who see a mistake as a helpful clue, not a reason to cry. They change what they are doing instead of messing up the same way twice. People learn that you are a very tough but very fair teacher. The new guys see that when you say they did bad, you tell them exactly how to fix it. You never just make them feel sad for no reason. They learn that you will never, ever make the hard test easier. But they also learn that the guys you teach do a much better job out in the real world. That is the only thing you really care about. But being the teacher makes you feel far away from the real action. You are making the tool, not being the tool. Shooting at pretend targets does not feel the same as the real, scary job. That special, sharp feeling inside you gets a little bit dull. Being ready for danger just becomes an idea, not something you do every day. The hard truth is, you really miss it. You miss how quiet and simple your brain gets when you are out there doing the real thing. Teaching is good. Teaching saves lives. But teaching is also doing the same boring things over and over and filling out lots of paper. When you are out doing the real job, there is no boring paper to fill out. So, when you get the chance to go on one last big trip, you pack your bags and go. Level 5. The Team Leader. The group looks different now. There are many new kids who laugh at jokes you do not get. They have fancy toys and tools that were not around when you started. They nicely call you an old man. You are not really old yet, but you feel like it. Your knees hurt when rain is coming. Your back remembers sleeping in weird spots for many years. When you work hard, it takes a long time for your body to feel better. But you are the boss because you know so much. You know what works and what fails. You have seen good shooters make bad choices when they get scared. You have seen okay shooters do great things just by following the rules. You know when to trust your tummy feelings and when to stop them. Your team goes to a big fight that the news does not call a real war. You do secret things that no one talks about. The bad guys are big bosses now. You get better clues, and more friends help you from far away. The shooting is much harder. You make a very hard shot from very far away. Everyone thinks you are a hero. It was a tricky spot. The wind was crazy, and you had to be fast. The bad guy was between cars, and you only had a second to try. You did it because you had to. You did it perfectly because you could not fail. Your friends tell the story over and over, making it sound even bigger. You let them talk because it makes them feel brave. But you know you got lucky. The wind stopped and the guy stayed still at just the right time. The world helped you. But the shot that matters is the one no one talks about. It was a mistake. You saw a man you thought was bad. But the clues were wrong. You made a perfect shot. But the man was just a normal person. He was just in the wrong place. He looked scary. But he was not. The bosses call it a sad accident on paper. But you feel like you did a very bad thing. You cannot sleep for months. You remember the faces of everyone you stopped. But this face is different. This face asks questions you cannot answer. The rules say you are okay. The judges say you are okay. But the face in your head does not go away. It visits your dreams all the time. You learn to carry this heavy sadness. You carry it because if you don't, you might become a monster. People who feel nothing are the scariest people in the world. The pain in your heart is actually a good sign. It proves you are still a good person inside. Level 6. The Master. People do not give you this title on a fancy piece of paper. Your friends just call you this. It means you lived long enough to become super rare. You did not break down, get too tired, or get really unlucky. Young kids ask you big questions they will not ask the teachers. They ask you because they know you have seen things the teachers never even saw. You go back and forth between going on trips and trying out brand new toys. Toys that do all the hard math for you. Guns that fix themselves for the wind. The smart tool makers want to take away all the human mistakes, but you know a big secret they do not. The human part is actually what makes it work. A robot cannot make smart choices. A robot does not have a heart. If you make the tools too robotic, you lose the good, sad feelings that stop us from being monsters. Your very last trip is your easiest one, but also your hardest. It is easy because you know exactly what to do. It is hard because you know it is the end. Knowing it is the last time changes how everything looks. You watch your friends and feel really thankful. You like the simple things that you used to think were boring. You take pictures in your brain of things you will never get to do again. Your very last shot is just a normal shot. A bad guy far away. A normal day. You do a good job. You do not even know it is your last shot until you are on the big airplane going back home. And then you just know. You will never, ever do this again. 22 years, hundreds of trips. You stopped counting the bad guys you stopped because counting just felt yucky. You taught so many people. Now they are teaching the new kids. The neat tricks you made up are being used by kids who do not even know your name. You bring a lot of heavy things back home with you. You remember the faces. You hear loud noises in your head. Bad smells remind you of scary days. You feel super nervous at the safe grocery store, where being nervous does not help at all. You lost a lot of friends and people you loved because of the hard person you had to become. But there is also good stuff. Lots of people are still alive because you were super good at doing a really scary job. You saved trapped friends. You kept cars safe. You stopped really bad plans from hurting hundreds of people. The good and the bad do not perfectly balance out, but they are not supposed to. You did what your home asked you to do, and you did it better than almost anyone else. You put your special glass in a box. You put the box in a dark closet. You do not open it very much. You still know how to do it, but you get a little slower since you do not practice. You hope you never, ever have to use those skills again. But deep down, underneath your normal everyday clothes, you are still that person. You cannot unlearn what you know. Sometimes at night, you dream about the times you chose not to shoot. You think about the times you waited, and the bad guy walked away. You wonder if that person did good things or bad things later on. You will never, ever know. That is just how the job works. One shot at a time. One slow breath at a time. You just stay strong and follow the rules all the way to the very end.